Hello angels, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel for all my new subscribers. How are you? My name is Asha Christina. Let's get the ball rolling with things. If you are not new here, then you would already be following me on Instagram, right? If you are new here, then please follow me on Instagram. Be sure to sign up for my mailing list as well so you can keep up to date with all the things that I'm going to be coming out with, like my podcast and also the launch of my website. As you angels know, I do highlight a quality queen comment of the day at the beginning of every video, like this one. I absolutely love interacting with you guys. You know I'm very responsive. So I choose a comment from the last video and I respond and share my thoughts on it. So if you guys remember last video, I talked about 5 reasons why men come back. There are probably a lot of you out there that have been getting a bunch of the exes resurfacing. I gotta leave. What is that song? I don't wanna leave, but I gotta go right now. Like, you have to go, you know? Except you won't be back before he knows it. Today's quality queen comment of the day is, I can tell that you are on your A game because your editing has gotten better, marketing has gotten better, comment of the day, email list, etc. And you've been coming up with a freaking podcast. So exciting. Yes, guys, so this really is actually real. I am very ecstatic about it. I can't wait for you guys to see it, and I genuinely really appreciate so much that you guys have been seeing that I've been consistent and I have been really working on my channel and my content and really just producing it in the way that I've always wanted to. And it feels really amazing that you guys are noticing all of the effort that is being put into my channel. So thank you so much. Let's jump right into this video. Today we're going to be talking about texting versus talking, also manipulation tactics and decoding what it is that they mean. So to begin with, texting is deficient of emotion. There's a reason why they say a lot gets lost in translation. There's no inflection of anything. There's an article that I actually read, which I will also link down below, in Psychology Today, where it concludes that research shows that texting can deprive a relationship of intimacy and conversation. We are a lot less empathetic, less connected, less creative, and less fulfilled. In addition to that, texting could also be used as a way to mask your emotions. Imagine texting someone saying, I love you, versus calling someone and saying, I love you. Especially if it's the first time you're going to tell someone that you love them. If this is the first time you're sharing this information, would you appreciate it via text or would you appreciate it via phone call? Now, talking. When we talk and communicate, we are more likely to solve problems. It's more effective being that there is emotion behind it, or it's more effective in conveying emotion as opposed to texting. Talking also brings more clarity and you're more than likely able to get a better response out of an individual. Why is this important? Because guys can say anything. Anyone can say anything via text message. Honestly, I miss you, gaslight you, and then go copy and paste that text message and send it to everyone up and down their list. Human interaction is important. Talking is more interpersonal. In addition to that, texting also has the capability to remove your people skills. Especially, I don't know, the generation behind me, because I'm a millennial, the generation behind me, they definitely do seem to be even more social media driven and things like that. And I feel like a lot of them really lack the foundation of being able to communicate interpersonally, whether that be, you know, via phone or whether that be even face to face. Like, there are some of my young friends that I have, and literally you can call them and they won't answer, but they'll respond to you in text to your call, and it's not because they literally can't answer their phone, it's just they just simply don't talk on the phone. And I don't really take offense to it, but for argument's sake, they don't seem to enjoy the interpersonal face-to-face sort of conversation. So if texting has the tendency to remove your people skills, what you actually end up doing is training yourself to fall for words and not actions. So in what instances should we accept texting versus calling? If you want to show appreciation to someone for something and express the love you have for them, even missing them, or if something is bothering you, that is usually when you want to call someone on the phone. What's appropriate for texting is when you want to compliment someone, or maybe you want to share a meme you saw, a photo of yourself, I don't know, get a quick opinion on something, or you simply may not be able to communicate with that individual at that given time. So you text them. But it's important to understand what is appropriate for what, because this will affect our romantic relationships, and this affects how we perceive what is appropriate when it is done to us. What's next? Are we texting proposals, saying I love you for the first time? These are things that should require human interaction and feelings of emotion on the phone. And the reason that's important also is because you build this sort of rapport with someone where more than likely we are way more bold in text. We say things that maybe we don't even feel as comfortable saying to someone's face. And sometimes we get so comfortable in that, but when it's time to actually meet up with an individual, there's a huge disconnect, and it's kind of just like, hey, so yeah. There's this sort of awkwardness where you don't even know how to interact with someone that you've been texting for so long. You don't want to set center stage for being the convenience of, oh yeah, I'll just text her. And honestly, ladies, there is a reason why I always say, make sure that you're talking on the phone with this guy, make sure that he's not texting you to death, especially even for my ladies that are young. Because even when I was young, when I was 16, I was still on the phone. I am someone that would prefer to talk on the phone than via text, because you just get all that awkwardness sort of out of the way. And at the end of the day, either that interpersonal chemistry is going to be there or it's not. So prolonging that by texting all day and then still not having a connection with that person is a waste of time, essentially, to me. Even in a micro decision like texting your way through a relationship, that is a huge data point to take note of, because that to me already sets the center stage for being low maintenance. Because then if he doesn't even have to call you to see how your day went and spend time with you on the phone, true time, which requires you to pay attention because you can feel the inflection of their voice, their emotions, their moods, how they're answering questions, you can interpret in real time as opposed to a text message. Instead of texting books, essays, briefs, it's call the person. Why not save yourself the time and the typing away, the carpal tunnel? Build that rapport up of speaking to one another. Because here's why. In romantic relationships, it's going to require vulnerability, intimacy, and to some degree those elements are very unpredictable, right? But that is what creates a real dynamic. And you simply can't access those elements of vulnerability and intimacy exclusively via text message. You simply can't. So this goes especially for a lot of you that are doing the online dating, especially right now in quarantine. If you've been texting this guy for a month and you have not gotten a phone call from them yet, it's a game. It's a game. He's putting in no effort already. If somebody really is serious or more serious or even remotely curious about you genuinely, they're going to want to hear your voice. They're going to want to speak to you on the phone. Let's talk about manipulation tactics and decoding what it is that they mean. If a guy is texting you very vaguely, being very general, this is usually a tactic to frustrate an honest person. Take notes of things like that. If a guy is refusing to acknowledge your question, especially via text, and ignored it, and you don't want to ask again because it's like, wait, I literally just wrote that and he kind of just skipped over it. And then if you do happen to mention it again, he says he didn't get it, he didn't see it. Well, like, scroll up. I'm concerned for you, but scroll up. Or they might even change the subject. Data points to look into. If a guy says, oh, you can't take a joke, you're so sensitive, and has weird, unsettling, crude humor, that is a data point. If he's downplaying your feelings when that's sincerely how you feel and he's not willing to open up the floor for a discussion, that's a data point. Here's an interesting one that is a manipulation tactic. Excessively long-winded text messages. A lot of the times we may perceive this as endearing because we are not used to guys being big texters anyway, because for one, they're usually not. And oddly enough, I experienced this myself where I was talking to this guy and he was already a lot, like very much a lot. And it's human psychology, it's human nature that when somebody is so much and they're a lot, it makes us put our guard up because we feel like, wait, whoa, I literally don't know you. Why are you doing this much and I don't even know you? It feels very uneasy. So this individual, I could say thank you, and next time I look at my phone, I have 3 long paragraphs of messages about like it was, even if that is genuinely that individual's personality, it's just very unsettling, and it's easier to even look at these data points when you don't have any emotional attachment to that person at all. And it was not a good situation for me. I ultimately had to tell that person, like, yeah, like this is not working for me because I don't understand how you are giving me a vlog via text about your day, and it's just too much. And I barely was responsive to this person, and they were always going on and on and on. And so when I actually researched this topic and I saw that that was also like a form of manipulation, I was like, whoa, he would have thought. And the reason why it can be looked at as manipulation is because you sort of guilt that person, especially if you're just meeting someone. It's like, wow, this person put in all this effort to kind of text me this, so they're hoping that I would reciprocate the same thing. And it's like, if you don't, you sort of feel a little bit bad. But even so, I was just like, no, because I really don't even have much to say to you anyway, so I'm sorry about it. Another manipulation tactic, if a guy is constantly refusing to use proper grammar, he's lazy. He's lazy. Now, how are you gonna expect to go anywhere of substance with someone who can't even simply text you using correct grammar? Like, I had a guy one time literally write me, and when I responded saying, I'm well, thank you, they were like, oh wow, you're smart. Usually people say, I'm good. And I'm like, already you started on the wrong foot. Like, it's just a little thing. It's the little things. And I'm just like, I gotta go. What's good? How old are we? Like, what are you testing me for? What are you prodding for? I honestly would love to know what these people that refuse to use correct grammar are doing with all that time that they're misspelling words, and I don't have time for that. I really don't. And then on top of that, another one, you have the guy that speaks in emojis. It's like every conversation is a pictorial that I gotta piece together. What is this? Charades? Like, I just don't have time. Speak normally. I really am not understanding. And I think these guys are jokesters. That's their manipulation tactic. They're jokesters. What man even speaks an emoji like that anyway? What is going on? I'm not saying don't use emojis, like if you're a guy, or it's weird if you do, but you know when it's just in excess. You know. And then lastly, you have the guys that ignore your text messages for days and then come back around and respond like nothing happened, or has some weird excuse of, sorry, I fell asleep. Oh, you fell asleep? You fell asleep for 3 days? A week? That requires some sort of medical attention. No, you didn't fall asleep. You saw my text there. And guys, of course, there are times where people may not see your text message or whatever the case is, but this is why I always say lean into your intuition. Don't believe what you want to believe what it is that your intuition is telling you. If it feels disruptive and it feels wrong, it's because it is. You know when someone saw your text message and they're literally ignoring you. And then here you go on Instagram checking to see if he's still liking stuff. He's still posting in his story, but he was sleeping for 3 days. Like, what's going on? To me, this is clearly a tactic that's used to get you used to him popping in and showing up whenever he wants. That's exactly what's going on there. And that is like the prerequisite for ghosting, period. That actually is technically ghosting. It's just for a shortened time span, however you want to call it, but it is definitely ghosting. So angels, I really hope that you guys have enjoyed this video. The takeaway that I want you guys to have from this is that it is important to have that interpersonal connection with the individual that you want to be with or that you are dating, because without that interpersonal connection, there will always be a disconnect. You do not want someone to be putting in low effort already, texting you all day long, not even speaking with you on the phone. You can't really get to know someone via text message exclusively. It's just not possible. And at the end of the day, do not fall for any of these manipulation tactics of already ghosting you, telling you you're sleeping for 3 days and all this nonsensical nonsense. We are smarter than that. I just put you onto the game, okay? With that being said, angels, do not forget that I love you and God loves you, and I will see you guys in my next video. Mwah.